Hi, this is Eric Stromquist from Controltrends.com with Control Talk Now, coming to you from California. Don't call me a bobblehead, and don't call the man, the myth, the legend a bobblehead too. And a special thanks to our friends at ACI for these bobbleheads we gave us. Kenny and I were at the CGNA meeting all week, and dude, what'd you think of CGNA?
Very impressive. Hats off to Mike Zackett and Jim Heyman for another outstanding job with Cindy and the gentleman that does the IT.
Peter Fan, smartest guy in the room probably, but it was just an enormous, again, it's a fire hose event. There's so much going on in such a compact period of time. It's just, it's going to take a while for all that to unravel. We got to play Vendoropoly with some of the best vendors in the world, and I'll tell you what, it was business. All about business. All about business, and for our listeners who might not know, CGNA is a group of 47 of the top distributors on the planet. Very high bar to become a member of CGNA. We provide high levels of service across the board, across the United States and Canada. Also, the vendors that become vendors at CGA get vetted pretty heavily too. So you have people like Honeywell, Schneider Electric, Siemens, and a whole host of others. So you know if you go through a CGNA distributor, you're going to get great value, great service, and great support. And we got to interview a lot of people at the show. We'll be editing those videos this week, so stay tuned next week to see some of those videos.
Yeah, it was a great facility too. Newport Beach Island Hotel. And what was really good about it, Eric, was you get updated now with all the products. I mean, Schneider Electric introduced a new thermostat that I think is going to be a sock dropper. I think Siemens, again, came out with a very strong messaging about, some more love to the distributors, two-step distribution. They're embracing it. They're widening the portfolio of available products. Intermatic adopted, came into the mothership on light litter.
Yeah, they're going to join. They're joining the Green Marines. They're going to help Kenny and I wage war against light litter. For our listeners who might not know, light litter is when you have a beautiful day like today, and the lights are on outside or inside.
And I can see from right here, lights on, and the ocean's about 2 miles this way, and there's a beautiful street, housing, whatever, and there's lights on, and this is just a killer. It's just an extravagant waste of energy. We need to be better stewards with our environment, reduce our carbon footprint, but we'll preach about that a little bit later on.
How many billions? $2 billion a year in wasted money.
It's approximated, yeah, $2 billion of light is wasted because it's turned on when it should not be on, or inside of the building even too, when you have so much light available and you have the inside lights turned on. So you need to start using that technology. It's really low-hanging fruit.
Well, I see it over there. So Kenny and I are going to go to the hardware store, get some BB guns, act as vigilante Green Marines. We'll shoot those lights out. We'll shoot those lights out before you.
We will not. He's kidding. He's got his fingers. It's all just.
No, I'm serious. Dead serious. Green Marines, we're serious. Hoo-ah, broo-ah, whatever. So, but hey, it was a great show. As like I say, stay tuned. Next week we'll be posting a lot of videos on that. Kenny and I, we have come south. We're in Carlsbad, California, and right off stage we have our guest, the one and only Jim Young. Kenny, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about Jim Young?
Well, he's a true evangelist. He is I think he coined all the terms that we use so predominantly in our industry, the smart, connected, intelligent building. It's Jim Young, and he has a Realcomm, IBCOM. Realcomm is going to be in its 18th year, 17th Realcomm, 5th IBCOM. So it's a combination. It's a 1-2. The IBCOM is directed more towards learning about the networking and automation and putting that together. Well, Realcomm is really, that's when all the engines are turning. It's a bunch of breakout sessions, case studies from around the world. The smartest intelligent buildings are going to be on display. One of the crazy things that Jim's going to be talking about is the tours going on to these different places and seeing the technology out here in California being applied. We're going to Silicon Valley, and Jim's going to tell us why that's such an important target zone to have a show.
June 21st to the 24th, I believe. You can still register. We'll have a link that you can click on to register on Controltrends. So Kenny, without further ado, let's bring on Jim. Jim, man, thanks for taking a few minutes to come out and talk with us, man.
My pleasure.
It's a beautiful part of the world. If the sun wasn't in our eyes, we turned the camera. We're sitting here. You can see out over the ocean.
It is a beautiful view. It is absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful spot of the world you live in. And Jim, we're here, man. We got the IBCOM Realcomm conference coming up.
Yeah, and actually I shaved this morning because I haven't shaved in weeks, but I knew we were doing this, so I had to get cleaned up a little bit because it's not a pretty time of year.
Yeah.
We are talking to thousands of people. Literally, I'm on that phone from 6 in the morning till whatever hour at night, and there's so much energy going on right now. We got Silicon Valley weighing in on smart buildings. We got the traditional industry weighing in. I think the end user marketplace is waking up. People are starting to see the value. So, yeah, we're just trying to keep our head above water and be able to deliver a great conference in June.
Jim, Silicon Valley, I mean, that's the bullseye. I mean, tell us why Silicon Valley is such a unique and important location.
It was a deliberate decision. I mean, it wasn't, we've been to Orlando, we've been to Las Vegas, last year we were in San Antonio, it was a great event, but we're just kind of sitting around strategizing and saying, there's so much going on in Silicon Valley right now, above and beyond what we do. Autonomous cars, 3D printing, artificial intelligence, I mean, the list just goes on and on. So we said, what if we took our little industry and interjected it into Silicon Valley? What would happen? They'd rub off on us and we'd rub off on them, and they're talking IoT and they know what they're doing, but do they really? And so, last couple, 6 months, we've heard the new IoT, industrial Internet of Things, IIoT, and they're kind of consumer Internet of Things. So what better way to get all of this stuff moving at a little bit better pace is to just bring them together. And so far, they've embraced us. I mean, Google, Cisco, Intel, Stanford, I mean, just put their arms around us.
The big guys.
Big guys, yeah. And our industry, I think, is enjoying it. We got, real estate companies coming from the East Coast, and they're excited. I mean, how often do you get to go and, get into a Google and see what they're doing, or, learn firsthand what Intel's up to? And
well, the tours are very interesting too. What's unique about this year's Realcomm IBCOM 2 is that, to me, you have the Missouri problem. The headwinds where people, if they see it, they believe it.
Absolutely.
To take somebody, and give them a burst experience where they can actually see technology deployed and already working and delivering the results that they expect.
Absolutely, we got a smart home installation in San Francisco at Target. They got the home automation lab, if you will. We've got automated robotic parking in Oakland. We've got Stanford's new energy production plant. We've got Google, Smart Campus. We've got Intel. Yeah, I mean, they're doing, not necessarily our sweet spot, smart buildings, but all these things are going to impact us. And so, again, if you go in there and you see it and you go, okay, this is not 10 years away, it's today. And believe me, Silicon Valley, they operate at a whole different pace than we do.
Oh yeah.
Whole different pace, which I think is good. I mean, if we can learn something from them and them from us, why not?
So tell us our listeners a little bit. If you haven't been to Realcomm IBCON, as far as Kenny and I are concerned, it's an absolute must. If you're a systems integrator, if you're a distributor, if you're a manufacturer, because among other things, you learn about the latest technology, the latest trends, but you're also rubbing elbows with real estate people that really embrace this sort of technology.
Yeah, and I mean, the real estate people come to our show are not the traditional parochial ones. They're the ones looking for new ideas. So you got a room full of early adopters, innovative type people. So I think we guesstimated 40 billion square feet of executive level decision makers. So we've got malls, offices, mixed use projects, universities, hospitals, and they're coming looking for what does the next generation smart, connected, high performance, open, interoperable, integrated, IP centric smart building look like.
This is the 18th year for Realcomm and the 5th year for IBCON.
Correct.
And you made a statement earlier about, if you can't keep pace, retire. Because
for all of us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to me, if they come to Realcomm IBCON, they get the cliff notes to take home. The really important time you spent there, you learn what's really important. You don't waste time in non-important events.
Yeah, we go deep dive. I mean, we're already into our 5th year of what does a building network look like. It's not should we have a building network, it's like we tried this, it didn't work, and we're on the 5th chapter already. What people who haven't been there will learn is like, holy cow, this is not fake, this is not in the future, this is going on, in fact has been going on. That's the thing that amazes me, is like, oh yeah, the whole idea of a smart building is interesting. No, it's not interesting, it's happening. We got best practices from around the world, and yes, it's like get on the train or not.
Well, get on the train, and what's great is if you're not on the train already, don't be daunted by it, because one of the really cool things you do is the boot camp.
Exactly.
And the boot camp, I don't put words in your mouth, but Kenny and I have attended several of them, and it's basically people that are farther down the path from the real estate side, educating people that want to know and get on the bus.
We've had some of the biggest real estate companies, people who own big real estate projects at that boot camp. I won't name any names, but they came, they put their ego at the door, they said, I really don't know anything. They sat down, and within 4 hours they felt comfortable. One I will name, Oxford Properties out of Toronto. They sat in that boot camp 3 years ago, I believe, and he's our chairman this year. Nice. 50 million square foot portfolio, and he listened, he was pragmatic, and all of a sudden, they embedded into their culture. And I would say at scale, Oxford is doing probably more than anybody in the world. Not just one building, but a whole portfolio of buildings. and they're taking a slow, calculated, pragmatic approach. I don't mean slow like 5-10 years, but they're thinking it through, but they're moving. And once they make decisions, they move at a very good pace.
Well, they do, and I tell you what, I was just impressed with the amount of knowledge that these real estate folks have. And if you're a systems integrator, you got to be here too. And among other things, you got the systems integrators roundtable. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we all thought, that the integrators had this all figured out, and they knew what IT, integration meant, and IP centric, and we came to understand not so much. They came from the traditional, one building, one system, one vendor at a time. So about 3 years ago, we started the integrator roundtable. We got the 15 smartest people, yourselves included, and said, let's get the integrators in here side by side with everybody else, but let's put them in their own room for 4 hours, and let's teach them about all this stuff, so they can be prepared to deal with the clients who are running around those same halls.
Well, yeah, not only the stuff, but also what the clients want, because
Exactly.
the real estate people are basically telling you, this is what we need. And Jim, you made a statement, and I'll ask you if it's still true. There is no recession with these real estate folks. If you can meet their demand, there's plenty of demand out there.
It's not money. Money is not the issue anymore. The ROIs went from 7 years to 5 to 3. Now I'm hearing 12, 18 months. So this stuff works. It's financially proving itself out. All that they need, the real estate people need is a vision and somebody with a little tenacity to change the organization, because that's going to change. The old facility manager with the sledgehammer is kind of going away. But if you've got that one person and you've got the tenacity and the vision, you're going to do fine. But the integrators, they've got to be able to keep up with those folks, because if your clients know more than you, that's not good.
So this is an opportunity to get in touch with the latest innovation, get the real life examples and testimony from experts that already have the technology deployed. You got the collaboration. More happens at these meetings. I think I've seen more professional developments with companies merge or come together and synergize in some way. I've seen people meet other people and actually change careers. This is the ball where the most enchantment in our industry ever happens. And we go from the old days of energy savings to operational savings to what now is that
workplace experience, occupant experience.
Yeah, the occupant experience. And that's I think the jargon that we need to learn to talk as systems integrators and distributors, because we need to talk the talk of the people that are the users and need it the most.
If somebody had if I had to sum it up in 10, 15 seconds, we accomplished more in 1 year than most other communities, conferences accomplish in 5. You got the supply side, you've got the manufacturers, you've got the distributors, you've got the integrators, and then you've got the demand side. If you all went to 5 different conferences, it takes time for you all to get together and figure it out, but if you're all in the same room, things are just happening faster. And some of the best, most prolific, visionary, smart building projects out in the world, they started right here in our community. I'm very proud of that.
Well, they did, and if you stay an extra day, you can go see these. Levi Stadium, some of the other places.
Yep.
So,
we got about 8, 9. I think I saw one this morning. We could have potentially 10 tours on Friday for those people interested in staying over and seeing it firsthand. And like we were talking earlier, seeing is believing. It's not in the future. It's right now. And when you see it, you're going to realize that it's time to get on that train.
I agree so much, because the adoption rate still isn't what it should be. We're seeing it improve from maybe it's still 12 to 36 months, where it should be probably 4 to 6 months, because once you see it and once you know it's there and once you know you have the competent people to actually install it and deploy it, what's holding people back?
What's holding back is that person who sees it, they come to our event, they go to a building. It's really becoming clear what's holding back is they got to go back to a very stoic, conservative, parochial, slow-moving organization. Think a major university, think a big mall owner, and they got to go through that whole organization, and they got to convince Bob and Mary and Pete and Sue. And if they weren't at that event, or if they didn't see that project, they're not embracing it at the same speed. So it is all about organizational realignment now, to realize, get that whole organization on board, that the buildings of yesterday are no longer any good, and we got to really be looking at this 21st century model. But it takes time to change people.
Yeah.
So, well, I think it does, but then again, you got people that at the conference that can help you with that. You got people like Intelligent Buildings. That's what they're in business to do, to bring the teams together, make sure the goals are aligned. Because without the right plan, no matter how good the technology is, it's not going to work. So there's something there for everybody.
Well, and again, the best example was a company who came in 3-4 years ago knowing nothing, and he's now our chairman.
Jim, there's one other thing that I think is probably, we track the trends at Controltrends, and last year, 2015, was cybersecurity. You're going to have a big portion on cybersecurity.
Yep, we're going to have its own event, 3.5, 4 hours. We've got 2 of the most notable cybersecurity analyst agencies out there, Route 9B and Cylance. We're going to have 5 people from major real estate portfolios who've been dealing at a pretty sophisticated level with cyber. And yeah, I think it's going to be one of the most sophisticated conversations on building cybersecurity in the world. I don't think anybody's having this discussion.
I don't think so either. Now, and Jim's going to hate this, but I'm going to say that, you know, Kenny and I like to refer to him sometimes as Jim Nostradamus young, because I mean, you back in the late 1980s, you were predicting the advent of the smart building, and I think you even wrote a paper on it. So you've been sort of right on it, predicting the different trends, and obviously with Controltrends, what are some of the trends you're seeing now and out in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, it's really the trend. Nothing's changed really in the last 3-4 years. Take a network, throw it on top of a building, connect every electrical mechanical device to the IP network, put it into an operating platform, organize it, parse it out where it needs to be. First thing you do is you get the data, you see where the problems are, but then you ultimately get the holy grail, which is machines talking to machines. Why do we want to do this? 30% less energy, 30% less operational costs. Your occupants are happy as can be. You're meeting sustainability objectives. Oh, and by the way, the building owner, he's going to make more money because he's brought his expenses down, he's brought his value up. We're saving the planet. It's really the same story, just faster.
And part of most real estate brands now is sustainability. It becomes part of the brand, and
Absolutely.
you never have a better opportunity to get in at a lower price point, get more stuff done at the same time.
The train's left the station. I mean, you know, 10 years ago we were pretty much out there screaming by ourselves, 10, 15 years, but now we got, you know, so many best practice case studies. The case study showcase, which is on the second day, we have 35, 40 of the world's best projects. We got people coming in from Singapore, we got people coming in from Japan. Yeah, it's really a meeting of some of the smartest people. And if you've been in this business, like I know you guys have been for a long time, doing the same thing the same way, it's time to come and see the future. Because it's not the future anymore, it's really today.
So you still time to get in on it, right?
Absolutely, 2 months. We got 20 or 8 weeks, 9 weeks, and we're going to be working right up into the last minute to make it a great conference.
All right, so we're going to be focusing on in the Controltrends upcoming. We're going to have the Integrator Roundtable, a preview into that, and also the Smart University. What else?
Smart Campus.
Smart Campus. I'm sorry. Okay,
Yep.
great.
Good stuff. Our guest is Jim Young from Realcomm Ibicon. Jim, you guys do a bunch of other stuff at the website, and then they can sign up for a newsletter.
Yeah, newsletters, advisories, webinars, roundtables around the world. Yeah, we're out there just getting this message out as best and fast as we can.
RealcommIbicon.com, right?
No, Realcomm.com. Everything's right up there.
Very good, good enough. Jim, thanks for taking some time to speak with us.
Thank you.
Jim Young.
Great to see you.
All right.
Great to see you. Thank you.
Awesome weekend. All right, buddy, listen, so that was great stuff with Jim Young. Can't wait. We hope to see you guys at Realcomm Ibicon. Don't forget that the Niagara Summit is coming up. That's our next big event in May, so you definitely want to check that out. So with that, Kenny Smyers, let's thank our listeners and viewers. So let's go get our BB gun, shoot those lights out.
No, we're not.
I'm Eric Stropwitz. He's Ken Spires. Have a great week, and remember, stay in control.
Indeed.
Indeed. Do it again.
Indeed.
Indeed. Peyton Manning's got nothing on us, buddy.
Right.
All right, cool. All
They
right.
give me a full head of hair, huh?
Yeah. I know.